Win belt on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show is out of control.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE, and we are back to cover the NXT deadline recap. Man, what a show. Definitely threw some shockers in there tonight for me. Yeah, I did really bad on my predictions. Normally I've been doing pretty well with NXT, but this is the first time I've seen an Iron Survivor match. Like I said, I just started watching NXT, so yeah, it was a really good show. I think they have a stake to claim on putting on better shows than WWE, the main roster right now. It was a really good show. I went 2 and 3 on my predictions though, so I missed both of the Iron Man, which came down to like the very end, and then obviously the match behind me with Wwe and Ricky. So I hope everyone had a good Saturday. It's been a wild Saturday. The weather's finally calmed down here, so you know, it's been quite the day. But it has been a relaxing Saturday. Got to just sit back and chill and hang out. And got ready to watch Deadline. Tomorrow's football day. Excited about that. So I won't be doing any streaming tomorrow, for sure. But yeah, super big show tonight. Just 1 second. I'm like running so behind on the stream tonight. I didn't even post that I was live tonight. But yeah. So I want to know what you guys thought. I want to know what you guys thought of the show tonight. Hopefully we get some comments in here. The show felt like it was a lot longer. I don't know. It really felt like it felt like it was forever. It definitely didn't feel like a 3-hour show to me. Tonight, it felt like a long show tonight. It really did. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the NXT Deadline Recap Show on the EVP show. We're streaming to my YouTube channel. We're also streaming to my X, and we're also streaming to Miami the Greats X as well. So hope you guys, like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed your Saturday. What have you guys been up to today? So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. NXT Deadline took place at the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, Texas. There's gonna be multiple championships on the line, and obviously the return of the Iron Survivor Challenge tonight. Basically, the pre-show kicked off with Megan Morant and Sam Roberts. They also do the Raw recap on Tuesdays on YouTube. They do really good work. They show like Javon Evans, Saul Ruka. Megan Morant mentioned that Oba would be going after the NXT Heavyweight Championship, and that will be opening the card. After that, they showed John Cena naming the women's Iron Survivor competitors with a clip from his cameo. Kelly Kincaid interviewed Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. It was reported a couple of days ago that Ren Sinclair is in for a big push for 2026. So that's good news for Ren. You can kind of tell she's getting a lot of camera time and TV time as well. So that's not too big of a shock there. Kelly asked Kendall how she's feeling after everything that's happened. Kendall says she's speechless. It's a full circle moment. She used to wear a "you can't see me" chain as a kid, and now John Cena picked her. She said she's always been competitive and focused on her goals. Now she wants to prove she belongs. So Kendall Gray is the women's Evolve champion right now. So yeah, she has a chance to step up and with the big girls and get that shot at JC Jane at New Year's Evil for the WWE for the NXT Women's Championship. Kelly then asked about her game plan. Then Ren Sinclair said that Kendall doesn't need one. Kendall added that she thrives under pressure and plans to stay out of the penalty box while going for the win. She's confident and wants to prove that all her hard work led to this moment. Kelly asked about their dynamic. Ren says she knows what the match is like and can't wait to watch Kendall compete. Kendall says she looked up to Ren's performance last year, and now it's her time. She called this a big moment and says she's going to win. Normally when people say they're going to win before the show, they normally don't, which was weird. By the end of the night, people will only be talking about one woman, and it will be Kendall Gray. Then they start to discuss the match between Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. Show a preview of the Men's World Championship match. Also, the Men's North American Championship match. So Blake Howard sat down with Wwe Nxt earlier this week for an interview. Blake asked what it meant to be picked by Cena. Wwe said he used to be pushed around and treated like a joke by people who really didn't know him. He had to find others like him to form a bond. Now having Cena recognize him as a dominant force shows he's on the right path. He made it clear he's not trying to be anyone else. He's here to be Wwe Nxt. Blake then asked about giving up part of the tag titles. Wwe explained that he wants the titles to stay within the group, but he's focused on singles gold now. He's not splitting his attention. To him, it's all about family. When one of the Dark State members eats, the whole family eats. He said he's going to prove Cena made the right call by picking him. Blake brought up Wwe's change in attitude. Wwe said that the fire's still there. Push him hard enough and you'll see it. He feels like he's finally getting what he deserves. With one win, he'll be one step away from becoming NXT champion. If he fails, the blame's on him. But if he wins, there's no one else but me. Finally, Blake asked who Wwe wants to face if he wins. Wwe said he's waited a long time to confront Obafemi. That's the match that he wants. So they teased that on NXT Tuesday. He said nothing would be more satisfying than beating the man who started everything. So, as your announcers tonight, we have Vic Joseph and Booker T. As always, the show kicks off with the opening video package. Saul Ruka is shown arriving at the venue, followed by Lola Vice, then Carmen Petrovic. Javon Evans is seen walking through the parking lot, while Leon Slater appears next. The shot cuts to Joe Hendry walking backstage. So we kick it off with the first match of the night. Obviously, the match behind me is for the NXT Men's Championship, and it's going to be Ricky Saints defending. He hasn't had the title very long. He beat Oba for the title a month or two ago, something like that. But he has not had the title very long. So, yeah, this was definitely. But this was big implications as well. Not only is it for the NXT Championship, but it is for a shot to go to Saturday night's main event, where John Cena will have his last match next Saturday and face the Universal Heavyweight Champion from SmackDown, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So the winner of this match will go to Saturday night's main event next Saturday and face Cody Rhodes. So Obafemi makes his way to the ring first. As he walks out, the crowd is chanting "Oba, Oba" in a style reminiscent to Goldberg's classic entrance. Ricky Starks obviously follows. So the match starts off. Ricky starts off by going for Oba's leg, but Oba quickly tosses him aside. Oba then backs Ricky into the corner, but Ricky manages to slip away. Ricky locks in an armbar, and even when Oba attempts a backbreaker, Ricky holds on tight to the submission. Oba tries for a slam, but Ricky countered by keeping the armbar in place. Eventually, Oba powers through with a delayed backbreaker. He follows up with a kick and transitions into a wrist lock, then sends Ricky to the mat with an arm wringer. Oba lands a punch to Ricky's midsection and lifts him up for snake eyes. He then hoists Ricky onto his shoulders, but Ricky grabs the rope to block it. Ricky manages to avoid an F5 and counters with a DDT. He then heads to the ropes and walks them for an old school style move, striking a pose afterwards. Oba's feeling it early. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. Yeah, my thing just started like getting all jacked up. I don't know what happened to my notes. So the match kept going. Basically, Obafemi regained control. Ricky Saints didn't get the ruler as he screamed in Femi's face. Then Ricky nailed a few kicks and a running tackle into the corner. Saints walked the tightrope and nailed a Hurricane Rana before hitting a spear for a close near fall. After Ricky Saints nailed a dive to the outside and he took control of the match, they returned to the ring where Obafemi kicked out at 2. Then Femi scooped Saints up, plowed him to the ground for another near fall. Oba went running, and Ricky moved as Oba went into the post. And then Femi took Saints down with a thunderous chop before running into the steps as Ricky moved. Once they returned to the ring, Saint nailed a big exclamation point DDT for a near fall. Oba returned fire with a fall from Grace. I'm also getting a near fall. Then Saints nailed another fall from Grace. This was so. Then Obafemi hits his finishing move, and then he ends up winning, getting the 1-2-3 pin on Ricky Saints, which was a big, huge surprise for me. I thought Ricky Saints was retaining. He's got a lot of history with Cody Rhodes. So this was very, this was not what I expected at all. But we have Obafemi now as your new NXT champion. He will now go to Saturday night's main event to face. So Oba countered. So I got that mistaken. I'm sorry, guys. Oba countered Ricky's Rochambeau into his fall from Grace, but Ricky kicked out at 2. And then Oba followed with a sit-down power bomb and got the 1-2-3. So Obafemi is your new NXT champion again. After the match, Ricky gets to his feet, offers a handshake, and Oba shakes his hand. So now Obafemi will move on to Saturday night's main event. Coming up this Saturday, John Cena's The Last Time Is Now event. And Obafemi, the NXT champion, will be going one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I don't really know what I can really say too much about this. I'll kind of save it for the prediction show Wednesday with Miami, but I don't really like it. I mean, they're gonna throw Obar to Cody already. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I guess they're gonna have some sort of interference. I'm thinking from Drew. I don't think Oba's taking a loss. I mean, prefer not to see Cody take a loss either, but I doubt they're gonna have Oba come up and lose. So I definitely expect someone to either interfere or cost Cody Rhodes, which is going to be Drew McIntyre. But yeah, next Saturday night, Saturday night main event, it'd probably be like the co-main event I'm expecting. Obafemi, the new NXT champion, will go one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So Sol Ruka is on the phone saying she wishes Zarya was there with her. Zarya responds saying she thought Sol didn't want her there. Sol Ruka apologizes for not telling her about Saturday night's main event. Zarya says she would have liked to hear it from Sol directly. She adds that they need to talk and wishes Sol good luck. So Sol would FaceTime at Zarya. Yeah. Then they show a video tribute of Hank and Tank, which I miss those guys. I picked them when they beat Praxium for the tag titles. Back then, they're on their tour of Japan. They said they will be back on NXT this Tuesday night. So looking forward to the return of Hank and Tank. So the next matchup we have is the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match with Sol Ruka versus Jordan Grace versus Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray. Definitely didn't get this one right. I started off the night 0-2. I lost the first two matches straight out the gate. This one came down to the wire though. I thought Lola had it, but it was definitely a shocker on who won. I definitely did not expect that at all. So Kalani and Kendall Gray are the first two entrants in the match. Kalani and Kendall exchange a few words before locking up. Kendall gets a waist lock, but Kalani breaks free with a kick and an Irish whip. Kendall Gray floats over in the corner and trips Kalani Jordan, but misses a drop kick. They both go for leg sweeps and quick covers. Kendall Gray gets a jackknife pin, but Kalani Jordan escapes. Kalani slaps Gray, and Gray responds with a pair of waistlock takedowns. She follows up with a roll-up for a near fall. Kalani then sends Kendall into the ring post. Kendall bounces back with a leg sweep and hits a slingshot double stomp for another near fall. Kalani counters with an inside cradle, and they trade near falls back and forth. Kalani heads to the apron and kicks Kendall Gray. Kendall throws a forearm but misses a baseball slide, allowing Kalani to hit a double stomp. She followed by running Gray into the apron. So back into the ring, Kalani hits a Northern Light suplex for another near fall. Kendall Gray fires off some punches, but Kalani counters with an Irish whip, followed by a backbreaker for another near fall. Kendall responds with a kick, and both competitors take each other down with flying hair whips, which was cool. Kendall Gray is great. I just started watching Evolve, so I just started watching right before she won the title. She is the real deal, and Ren Sinclair is going to be great in 2026. So I think that's two that you're going to have to look out for in the future for sure for NXT in 2026. So Kendall Gray is sent to the apron, and Kalani follows by sending her into the turnbuckle. Kalani kicks Gray and lands a leg drop across the ropes for a near fall. Kalani heads to the top rope, but Kendall moves out of the way, and Kalani rolls through. Kendall Gray takes advantage with a power slam and gets the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. So The first point of the match goes to Kendall Gray with a pinfall on the former TNA Knockouts champion, Kalani Jordan. So the next person to enter the match is the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. Grace, obviously, Kalani goes into the penalty box. Jordan Grace comes in strong and punches and hits a gut wrench suplex. She throws Kendall into the corner and hits a running double knee strike to the back, followed by a double jump Vader bomb for a near fall. Grace blocks a kick and counters with a sunset flip for another near fall, then transitions into a modified stomp puller. So Kalani is now out of the penalty box and goes straight after Jordan Grace with a kick and forearm. Kendall Gray tries to roll up, but Kalani reverses it. Kendall Gray grabs an ankle lock, but Kalani escapes and rolls her up for a 1-2-3. So Kalani Jordan returns the favor and gets the pinfall on Kendall Gray. So now Kalani and Kendall Gray both have one fall each. And now Kendall Gray will be headed to the penalty box. So Jordan Grace fires off a forearm and kicks Kalani, then drives her into the turnbuckles multiple times. She tries for a black backslide, but then hits a short arm clothesline. Kalani locks in a front face lock, but Grace misses a back fist. Kalani lands a roundhouse kick, followed by an X Factor for a near fall. Grace kicks Kalani and goes to the apron, then clotheslines Gray as she exits the penalty box. So Kendall Gray is out of the penalty box now. Kalani follows up with a twist and pescado onto Grace and goes for a near fall on Kendall Gray. Kalani climbs to the top rope, but Grace cuts her off with an elbow. Kalani pushes Gray up the ropes, but Gray climbs back up. Grace gets underneath and delivers an electric chair drop while Gray connects with a superplex, sending Kalani crashing to the mat. The next person to enter the match, fourth person, will be Lola Vice. Lola enters with a flurry of kicks and drops Gray with a spinning back heel kick and gets the 1-2-3, a super quick fall for Lola Vice as soon as she gets into the match. So our score update, we have Kalani Jordan with one fall, Kendall Gray with one fall, and Lola Vice with one fall. And Kendall Gray is headed back to the penalty box. Lola hits Naomi-style kick on Jordan Grace, followed by a running hip attack to both Grace and Kalani Jordan. Grace counters with a German suplex, but Lola bounces back and hits a double German suplex on Grace and Kalani at the same time. She follows with more hip attacks and even a stink face, scoring near falls on both Kalani and Grace. Lola hits an axe kick to Kalani's back and lands several more kicks. Lola looked great tonight. Meanwhile, Kendall Gray is back in, goes for a cross arm breaker on Grace, but Grace counters with a roll up. Grace reverses it. So Jordan Grace countered with a roll up. Kendall Gray reversed the roll up and gets the 3 count on Jordan Grace. So we have Kalani Jordan with one fall, Kendall Gray with 2 falls, and Lola Vice with 1 fall, and Jordan Grace to the penalty box. Kendall Gray blocks Kalani's split-legged moonsault and delivers a German suplex. Lola quickly follows with a kick to Kalani for a near fall. Kalani hits a forearm, but Lola counters with a kick and sends her into the ropes. Gray follows with a kick. Lola goes for a roll-up, but Gray counters into a cross arm breaker, then transitions into a waist lock. So Kendall Gray is definitely a mat technician. I said this on the NXT Deadline Prediction Show, Lady Alpha and Michael, that she reminds me similar to like a Kurt Angle type style. She's a mat wrestling technician. Grace kicks open the penalty box door into Kalani's face. She hits a spine buster on Kendall Gray and follows with a package power bomb for a near fall. Jordan Grace blocks a kick and delivers a leg trap suplex for another close count. Kalani returns with a crossbody on Grace, but Grace rolls through and gets a 3 count. So Jordan Grace gets her first pinfall. So we got 1 fall for Kalani, 2 for Kendall Gray, 1 for Lola Weiss, and 1 for Jordan Grace. The last female to enter the match is Sol Ruka. Before Sol can enter, she's taken to the back. So she's playing it like this knee injury again. So she really didn't even get started. Grace nearly scores another pin while Kendall Gray and Lola trap her in double arm bars. Lola counters a roll up for a near fall. So then back comes Sol Ruka flying back into the match. Kalani pulls Sol off the apron and drives her leg into the steel step back in the ring. Kendall and Lola double team Grace. Grace tries a double suplex but gets reversed and they both get near falls. She fights back with a shoulder tackle and hits a blue thunder bomb. Grace sets up for a 5-knuckle shuffle similar to John Cena on Kendall Gray, but Kalani stops her with a super kick. Lola grabs Kalani in a waistlock, but Kalani rolls her up. Kendall Gray blocks a kick, and Kalani tries a double drop kick, but Lola blocks it. Kalani lands on her feet and hits a double Pele kick. Jordan and Kalani fight on the apron, and Kalani hits a Spanish fly to the outside. Sol returns. So she is back. She returns and kicks Kalani, then sends her back into the ring. Sol hits a soul snatcher on both Lola Weiss and Kalani Jordan and gets a pinfall on each of them. So here's a score update. We have Kalani Jordan with 1 fall, Kendall Gray 2 falls, Lola Weiss 1 fall, Jordan Grace 1 fall, and Sol Ruka 2 falls. So Kendall and Sol are tied at 2 falls. Sol whips Gray into the corner, hits a German suplex. She follows with a long blower style move on Grace. So Sol goes to the top and lands a missile dropkick on Grace and Kendall Gray, then connects with a running knee to Jordan for a near fall. Sol locks in a dragon sleeper on Kendall. So Jordan Grace rolls Gray over into a single leg crab, and Sol transitions into a camel clutch. Lola enters from the penalty box and applies a sleeper on Kalani as she and Grace exit the penalty box with 5 minutes. There's 5 minutes remaining in the match, and Sol and Kendall are in the lead with two falls each. Lola delivers a series of kicks, but Sol catches her with a slingshot X Factor. And Kendall Gray hits Shades of Gray on Jordan Grace for a near fall. But then Kalani Jordan gets a quick roll-up on Jordan Grace and scores a 1-2-3 pinfall. So less than 5 minutes remaining. Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray, and Sol Ruka all with 2 falls. Lola Weiss and Jordan Grace with 1 fall each. So Lola throws Gray to the steel steps while Sol takes out Grace with a kick. Lola hits a seated Spanish fly on Kendall Gray. Sol lands a moonsault off the apron, and Kalani follows with an aside moonsault. Back in the ring, Kalani hits an Olympic slam, but misses a 450 splash and rolls through with 2.5 minutes remaining. Jordan Grace hits a German suplex and blockbuster combo, then lands a powerbomb on Kalani and gets the 1-2-3. So now all 4 out of the 5 of them have 2 pinfalls each besides Lola Weiss with less than 3 minutes remaining. So Kendall Gray hits a Meteora on Grace for a near fall, but Lola quickly gets a 3-count, roll-up 3-count on Kendall Gray. So we are 2 minutes left in the match, and all 5 ladies have 2 pinfalls each. Who is going to take the win? Sol goes for another soul snatcher, but stumbles into the rope as time runs out. Lola locks in a rear naked choke on Sol Ruka on the floor. Sol fights her way to the ring steps and hits soul snatcher on Lola outside the ring. She rolls Lola back into the ring, but Kalani catches Sol with a kick to the back of the leg. Kalani follows up with a 450 splash, but Jordan Grace breaks up the pin just in time. But the biggest shocker of the night, Kendall Gray takes advantage and hits the Shades of Gray on Lola Weiss, scoring the 1-2-3, and I think there was about 30 seconds left. So the final score was Kalani Jordan 2 falls, Lola Weiss 2 falls, Jordan Grace 2 falls, Sol Ruka 2 falls, and our winner of the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. And we'll be going to the NXT New Year's Evil January 6th on Tuesday on NXT to face the Women's NXT Champion Jacy Jayne is the already WWE Women's Evolve Champion Kendall Gray. So after the match is over, you see Jacy Jayne, my queen, comes out with Fallon Henley and Lanny Reed. They stare down Kendall Gray from the aisle. So obviously they'll start to build up to that. Obviously they still have like a full month to build up to that show. It's going to be on January the 6th, but I'm sure that Jacy will be there Tuesday with Fatal Influence with Kendall Gray as well to start the build for that match. So we have one match X and Stone for New Year's Evil. Jacy Jayne will be defending the Women's NXT Championship against the WWE Women's Evolve Championship, Kendall Gray. So Kendall's going for 2 belts. So we see the women's North American champion, Blake Monroe, is with Ava, and she brings up the idea of a weekly open challenge for the title. Ava says Blake is only champion because Zarya threw in the towel. She questions if Blake can defend the title every week and says she's not as tough as Ilya the Mad Dragon Dragunov or Sami Zayn. She said that she's better than both of them, and she agrees to the challenge. She will hold an open challenge for her Women's North American Championship starting this Tuesday on NXT, which I will be covering on my NXT recap. Blake Monroe will be defending the Women's North American NXT Championship Tuesday in an open challenge. So Sarah Shriver's in the back interviewing Miles Bourne and asks what number he's going to choose in the men's match tonight. Miles says he wanted to face Ricky, but he's fine going up against Oba again. He explains his strategy and says he'll be entering third. He adds that John Cena picked him for this match. He said he's going for lucky number 3. Backstage, Kalani Jordan and Jordan, like mid to end of the interview, Kalani Jordan and Jordan Grace are brawling on outside like they're still fighting. So that's going to lead to another match for them. So our next matchup for the night is the Men's North American Championship match. It's going to be Ethan Page defending against Mr. Iguana. So Mr. Iguana starts off with a waist lock, but Ethan Page countered with a shoulder tackle. Mr. Iguana plays possum, and when Page tries to help him up, Iguana surprises him with an arm drag, followed by a drop kick. So Mr. Iguana was playing possum. Iguana catches Page with a crucifix for a near fall. Ethan Page fires back with a knee and an Irish whip, but Iguana floats over and grabs his puppet. This one of those type of Mr. Iguana is a funny character. Page responds with a DDT and throws Iguana into the turnbuckles. Page climbs up for a superplex, but Iguana uses the puppet to whip him, causing a distraction. As Page argues with the referee, Iguana hits a crossbody for another near fall. He follows up with a satellite arm drag, sending Ethan Page to the floor. All egos getting sick of Mr. Iguana's games. Iguana goes for a pescado, but Page slides back into the ring. He catches Mr. Iguana with a punch and sends him into the ring steps. Back inside, Page lands a back elbow. Page whips Iguana into the corner, but runs into a boot. Iguana follows up with a springboard crossbody. He grabs his puppet again, and it bites Page. Iguana heads to the ropes, but Page yanks him down and hits a power slam. Ethan Page stays on the attack with punches and stomps and hits a body slam. He finishes the sequence with a hard boot to Iguana's head. Page grabs Iguana's puppets, spits in his face, and throws it up the aisleway. Mr. Iguana is furious and responds with a hard chop to Page and hits a tornado DDT. Mr. Iguana climbs the turnbuckles, but Paige gives him a low blow and sets up for the Super Ego's edge. Iguana counters with a Super Rana, sending Paige flying. Ethan Page rolls out to the floor, and he's got the green stuff all over his back and stuff. Iguana follows with a flip dive into a Rana on the outside. Back in the ring, Iguana goes up top and lands a flying headbutt for a near fall. Iguana heads to the top rope, but Ethan Page cuts him off and throws him down hard to the mat. Ethan Page follows up with a twisted grin and gets to 1, 2, 3, and still your men's NXT North American champion, and also one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship with Chelsea Green, All Ego Ethan Page. So Sarah Shivers in the back with Kendall Gray, congratulating her on her big win. Kendall says she's full of adrenaline and admits nobody expected her to come out on top. So Ruka walks in and tells Kendall she was the better woman tonight, but adds that if she had had her full time in the match and was at 100%, the result would have been different. Soul says she plans to fight for her friend because they're still planting the seeds of the Zarya Soul split. I thought it was going to happen tonight, but they are really dragging this thing out with them too. I mean, it's coming. So later on, obviously Oba wins the title. He approaches Dark State and tells Dion Lennox in the back, I did my part. And Dion said, I will do mine. So the next matchup for tonight was the next matchup is Tatum Paxley going up against Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame is accompanied by Nico and Sean Spears. So Tatum Paxley's all alone tonight. Nico and Sean Spears get into the ring before the match, but the referee steps in and sends them straight to the back. Izzy Dame tries to jump Tatum from behind, but Tatum turns around just in time to stop her. The referee calls for the bell. Izzy tries to mess with Tatum's head and thinks she got in her head, but it doesn't work. Tatum fires back with a hard forearm. Izzy responds with a clothesline to take control of the match. Tatum hits a kick followed by a foot leg drop, sending Izzy to the floor. Izzy backs off and begs for mercy, which she calls Tatum Paxley the NXT Women's Championship against JC James. So Tatum is trying to get her revenge. Tatum follows her outside, offers to help her up as Izzy insists everything is fine. They share a hug until Izzy suddenly gives a classic Cena heel turn, just like we've seen with Liv Morgan. It's the third time we've seen this there, and slams Tatum into the ring step. This is 2 times. Like we just saw Liv Morgan do this at Survivor Series with that stare, and now Izzy Dame is doing it. Tatum drives Izzy into the corner and goes for a running crossbody into the turnbuckles, but Izzy gets her knees up just in time. Izzy kicks Tatum, whips her into the opposite corner, and hits a series of shoulders and punches. Izzy follows up with a satellite backbreaker for a near fall, then lands a European uppercut. She delivers 2 stiff knees to Tatum's midsection. Tatum counters by locking in a sleeper hold and jumps on Izzy's back. Izzy tries to shake her off by backing into the turnbuckles. Izzy hits another knee to the midsection, then drops Tatum across the top rope. She follows by sending Tatum's shoulder first into the ring post and connects with another knee strike. Izzy hits a backbreaker and follows up by locking in a Boston Crab. Tatum crawls toward the ropes, but Izzy pulls her back to the center of the ring and transitions into a lion tamer. Tatum manages to counter with an inside cradle for a near fall. Izzy dares Tatum to fight back and continues to slap her across her face. Tatum finally snaps, unleashing a flurry of punches and kicks. She hits a German suplex followed by a stiff kick, then connects with the leaping elbow drop for a near fall. Tatum climbs the turnbuckle, but Izzy cuts her off with a forearm. Izzy climbs up and sets up for a superplex, but Tatum blocks it and shoves her down to the mat. As Tatum comes off the top, Izzy catches her with a drop kick and then follows with a swinging neck breaker for a near fall. Izzy and Tatum continue to trade forearms back and forth. Tatum lands a super kick, and Izzy misses a bicycle kick. Tatum takes control again with a crucifix bomb, follows it up with a suicide dive to the outside. And here comes the Cullen to Izzy Dane's rescue. On the floor, Tatum hits a roundhouse kick off the announce table and delivers a German suplex onto the floor. She then clears the announce table and lays Izzy across it with a forearm. Tatum sets up for the cemetery drive as Izzy begs for mercy, but Tatum hits it anyway, slamming her onto the announce table outside. Tatum rolls Izzy back into the ring, but before she can get in, she is stopped by Shawn Spears. He appears and he offers Tatum some dolls, some of that mysterious stuff. Tatum hesitates, takes the dolls, and suddenly reverts to her innocent persona. Spears rips the head off one of the dolls, and Tatum strikes him in anger. Izzy takes advantage, hitting a kick, then a sit-down powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. And so we have our winner, Izzy Dane. She gets the big win tonight over Tatum Paxley. Very good storytelling in this match. I think that they're doing a phenomenal job storytelling-wise with this match. I'm sure we're not done. So we see dejected Ricky Saints in the back after his loss. Javon Evans tells Ricky Saints to stay positive, remind him that he's been champion before and will be champion again. But Ricky says he can't do it. He couldn't beat Oba, and now the impossible is back. Javon responds by saying he's not waiting until New Year's Evil. He plans to win the title before then. So then we get another vignette of the LFG Season 1 men's Season 1 runner-up and the Season 2 winner, Shiloh Hill. He's in his room talking about how he first got into football. He says he once saw squirrels talking, chased one of them, and a coach noticed how fast he was. He also mentioned he has a tooth stuck in his head from a fight when he was 9. Shiloh Hill says he will make his debut on Tuesday on NXT this Tuesday. So Shiloh Hill, the LFG Season 2 winner, will make his debut this upcoming Tuesday on NXT. He will have his first NXT match this week, which it'll be against a jobber probably, so Shiloh Hill will get a win. Kalani Jordan will also face Jordan Grace this coming up Tuesday on NXT, and the U.S. title open challenge begins when Blake Monroe will be defending. So NXT is shaping up to be good Tuesday. So we get to the main event of the evening. It's the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Javon Evans versus Joe Hendry versus Miles Bourne versus Leon Slater versus Dion Lennox. The first 2 people into the match is Leon Slater. Well, so let me say this. The winner of this match gets Oba Femi at New Year's Evil. The first 2 people in are Leon Slater and Javon Evans. Evans goes for a springboard cutter, but Leon Slater blocks it. Leon hits a kick on the apron and sends Evans down to the mat. They lock up with a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, and Leon takes Evans down, but Evans kicks him away. Slater follows up with a head scissor takedown. Evans responds with a snap mare, and they each try to block kicks. Evans holds on to Leon's foot, but Leon breaks free with an enziguri. Slater connects with a handspring, back elbow for a near fall, then lands a few punches. Javon fires back with shots of his own, and after a brief exchange, Slater connects with a kick. These two just teamed up recently, and it's a banger when they get in the ring. Javon hits an Irish whip. Slater tries to float over, but Evans doesn't allow the follow. Evans hits a springboard head scissors and a dropkick for a near fall. Evans lands 2 chops, and Leon answers back with a flurry of his own. Javon floats over and delivers another chop. Leon counters with a body scissors for a near fall, and they go back and forth with quick pin attempts. Evans goes for another springboard cutter, but Leon dodges and rolls him up for a near fall. Evans finally lands a cutter, but when he goes for another springboard move. Leon catches him with a drop kick. Evans recovers and nails a Rana for a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. So Javon Evans gets the first pinfall of this match over Leon Slater. So Leon Slater heads to the penalty box. Out with lucky number 3, as he said earlier in an interview, is Miles Bourne, who I call the luckiest man alive. He's dating Stephanie Valcourt. The next entrant is Miles Bourne. Miles storms in with a clothesline, the European uppercuts, picking up a quick near fall. He goes for a belly to back suplex, but Evans lands on his feet and hits a thrust kick. Miles responds with an Olympic slam for another near fall. Miles lands a punch, but Evans sends him to the floor. Leon Slater, back from the penalty box, capitalizes with a crossbody on Evans for a near fall, then drop kicks Miles off the apron. Evans tries to suplex Leon, but Leon mule kicks into Miles. Leon rolls through and suplexes Javon over the top rope, hanging on himself. 2 trade punches on the apron until Miles hits a flip dive to take them both out. Miles throws Evans back into the ring for a near fall, then brings Leon Slater back into the ring and also almost pins him as well. Miles delivers a series of European uppercuts to Slater, but Leon fires back with a chop. Evans joins in with a chop to Leon, and Miles answers with a punch to Evans. Miles tries to pin Evans, and then gets another near fall on Leon. Evans and Miles start trading punches. Javon lands a chop on Miles and hits a Superman punch on Leon. Leon fires back with a Superman punch of his own to Miles. Leon attempts a handspring back elbow, and when Evans and Miles try to catch him, he lands on his feet. Javon hits a suplex, followed by a splash on Leon for a near fall. So the next person to enter the match, number 4, is Dark State Dion Lennox. Dion enters with a clothesline to Javon and takes out both Miles and Leon. He delivers shoulders to Miles and hits a Northern Light suplex for a near fall. Leon tries to fight back with kicks, but Dion answers with a kick of his own and sends Leon to the apron. Javon and Dion trade punches in the corner until Leon pulls Evans down and lands a few strikes. Evans returns the favor, and together they place Dion on the top rope, setting up for a double superplex. Dion fights him off, but Leon kicks him from the outside. Miles then lifts Dion onto his shoulders, and Dion connects with a Doomsday device. Dion follows up with an island driver on Evans and scores a pinfall. So Dion now has 1 point as he has pinned the young OG Javon Evans. So the updated score: Dion Lennox 1 fall and Javon Evans 1 fall. Leon Slater no falls, and Miles Bourne no falls, and Joe Henry has yet to enter the match. Miles responds with a big boot to Dion and locks in a sleeper hold, but Dion escapes with a snap mare. Miles delivers belly to back suplexes to both Dion and Leon, getting a near fall on Slater. Miles lands punches and whips Leon into Dion. Leon bounces back with a jumping sidekick, then climbs the turnbuckles, but Evans shoves him off. Javon hits a springboard clothesline on Miles and a suicide dive to take out Leon. Back in the ring, Javon hits a frog splash on Miles for a near fall. Javon climbs to the top rope, but Lennox cuts him off with a punch and sets up for a power slam. Before he can hit it, Miles steps in and stops Dion. So then we will say his name, and he will appear. The final entrant in the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge is Joe Hendry. Henry storms into the match with clotheslines to both Dion and Miles. He drops Leon with a neckbreaker, then catches Evans and hits a fallaway slam. Joe doesn't stop there. He lifts both Leon and Evans and delivers a double fallaway slam, clearing the ring with a burst of momentum. Joe Henry sets up for standing ovation on Slater, but Dion Lennox cuts him off with a clothesline. They brawl until Joe sends Dion over the top rope, then tosses Leon and Javon Evans out as well. Joe looks around and hits a Fosbury flop onto all 3 men. Back into the ring, Joe tries a standing ovation on Miles Bourne, but Miles blocks it. Joe counters Bourne again and hits a Uranagi on Miles Bourne for a 1-2-3. So Joe Henry has scored his first pinfall. So updated scored, we have Deion Lennox 1, Joe Henry 1, Javon Evans 1, Miles Bourne and Leon Slater have yet to get a pinfall. Deion grabs Joe's leg. Evans joins in after Joe kicks Deion away and the roll-ups start flying. Evans nearly pins Joe. Leon nearly pins Evans. Joe tries another roll-up. Then Leon and Evans land dual super kicks. Deion smashes the penalty box into Miles, then hits a spine buster on Leon. Evans hits a rebound roundhouse kick, gets sent to the apron, but lands a somersault kick to Joe Henry. Leon follows with a springboard drop kick and then hits a swanton 450 for a 3 count. So Leon Slater has now got his first pinfall as well. So Deion Lennox, Joe Henry, Leon Slater, and Javon Evans are all tied with 1 fall apiece. Miles Bourne has yet, and there's only 4.5 minutes left in the match. So it's anybody's ball game at this point. Miles hits the Bourne again on Leon, but Deion breaks up the cover. Miles counters Deion and lands another Bourne again, this time getting the pin. So now we are all knotted up, folks. Deion Lennox 1 fall, Miles Bourne 1 fall, Joe Henry 1 fall, Leon Slater 1 fall, and Javon Evans 1 fall, with about 2.5 to 3 minutes left remaining. Deion attacks Joe in the box. Meanwhile, Evans, Leon, and Miles brawl mid-ring. Joe escapes the box and takes out Deion. Miles hits a power slam. Leon with a kick. Evans with a cutter to Leon. Then Joe hits a clothesline to Javon. There's 2.5 minutes remaining, and they are all still 5 tied at 1. Who will win and go on to New Year's Evil and face the new NXT champion? You can see behind me, Obafemi. Deion pulls Joe to the floor. Evans dives out, but Deion throws him into the referee and locks him into the penalty box. Deion hits a power slam on Miles, but Joe breaks up the cover and hits a standing ovation, though Deion rolls to the floor. Evans escapes the box and clotheslines Deion. Leon flies into the ring with a flip dive onto Javon. Javon recovers, hitting a cutter to Leon, then follows with a double jump cutter, but Miles breaks up the pin. Miles shoulder tackles Evans and hits a super Bourne again, but Deion breaks up the count. That would have been it for Miles Bourne right there. Leon goes up and lands another swanton 450, but Joe tries a power bomb, only to tumble over the top rope. Miles goes for the cover, but instead Javon rolls him into the inside cradle for the 1-2-3 with I think it was maybe 20-30 seconds, if that. The winner of the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match and will go on to New Year's Evil to face the new NXT champion is the young OG Javon Evans. So we got 2 big matches set up for New Year's Evil, January 6th on NXT. It will be the young OG going after his first NXT championship when he goes up against Obafemi. And JC Jane will defend her women's NXT championship against the WWE Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray. After the match, Javon Evans shows respect by shaking hands with Leon Slater and Miles Bourne. He offers a handshake to Deion Lennox as well, but Deion refuses and leaves the ring. Obafemi makes his way to the aisle for the stare down with Evans. Suddenly, the lights go out. The Titantron lights up, showing the return of none other than Tony D'Angelo, standing on a bridge, just like in his old business days of dumping bodies. Moments later, Tony D'Angelo appears in the ring and choke slams Javon Evans. He then spills the same material that was previously sent to Ava in a package. And that is the end of the show. Tony D is back. That is big trouble for NXT and Big Trouble for Javon Evans. So yeah, that was so let me go over the winners again. Obafemi is our new NXT champion by defeating Ricky Saints. And a very close, right down to the wire. Kendall Gray wins the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match, and will go on to New Year's Evil to face JC Jane. We saw Ethan Page successfully defend his men's North American Championship against Mr. Iguana. Izzy Dame defeated Tatum Paxley, and in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match with 22 seconds left, I believe, the young OG, Javon Evans, is victorious and will go on to New Year's Evil to face Obafemi for the NXT Championship. But now Tony D is back and lurking. Great show. Can't wait for NXT Tuesday, the follow-up to this. I give this show a solid 8.5 out of 10. I went 2 and 3. I definitely was thrown off by a few of them, but hey, that's always good when they can throw me off. So yeah, like I said, shout out to everyone that's watching on the EVP show on my X and my Emmy's X. I appreciate you guys tuning in to my NXT Deadline recap. I will send you guys to my outro, and then I will be back to tell you where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up in the following week.
CJP's your guide, let's start the show. Tag teams breaking, factions shaking. He's got the scoop for moves they're faking. Belt on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. It's good. Let's go where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show is out of control.
Let's go. Yeah, so like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed NXT Deadline on Peacock, and I hope you guys enjoyed the NXT Deadline on the EVP show tonight. Where you can find me on my socials. Obviously, I am the Golden Boy as well of DWE. Shout out to Miami the Great, Final Boss Lady, DWE Reg, World of Greg, and also Gimmick Table Media. Everyone affiliated with them. Give all them a follow and a subscription to them on Twitter and on YouTube. So for me, for my social, you can find me on X, obviously, at the bottom of the screen, at EVPCJP. On Instagram, you can also find me at EVPCJP. I'm a little bit more active now on TikTok, so if you're looking for me on there, you can find me at Brady DA Goat 21. It's not THE, it's at Brady DA, like duh, Goat 21 all together. So it's at Brady the Goat 21 on TikTok. And most importantly, please hit that like and subscribe button to my YouTube channel. It's at the EVP show. If you guys will like the stream tonight, I didn't get any comments unfortunately tonight, but if you want to leave comments, if you watch the playback, I will definitely get back to you on them as well. But yeah, definitely if you can like the stream, that puts my stream into the algorithm, and you know that's what we're here for, is to spread the content worldwide where everybody can watch it. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. What I have coming up next, tomorrow I am off. I will not be doing anything wrestling wise, streaming wise. It's football day, so I'll be watching football. I'm be sweating out fantasy football. It's the last week before fantasy football playoffs start, so I have a couple of huge matchups tomorrow and Monday as well. But Monday night I will be back for the Raw recap here on the EVP show at 11 p.m. Eastern. I will be back. So Tuesday, you can catch me at 6 p.m. Eastern with the CEO from DWE, Miami the Great, as we cover the NFL Week 14 recap show. We're gonna recap the whole NFL, what happens tomorrow and Monday and this past Thursday at 6 p.m. Later on that night, we will be going over the fallout of NXT deadline and whatever happens on NXT. Like I said, we're gonna have Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan, Blake Monroe with an open challenge for her title, for her North American title. So we have that to look forward to next week on NXT, as well as Shiloh Hills debuting. So my NXT recap will be at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday night as well. So 2 streams Tuesday. Wednesday, it's a big one, guys. I know it's a little early in the week. Probably won't have all the matches, but we will predict what we have. I will be joined by the CEO himself, Miami the Great. It will be the Saturday night main event prediction shows. It will be Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. So join me and Miami the Great. We do know 3 matches for sure. So hopefully we find out the other 2, maybe on Raw tomorrow, on NXT. They don't wait all the way till SmackDown. Hopefully we have the whole card by Wednesday. But we will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern for the prediction show Wednesday. So you guys tune into that. Friday, I will be back for the Go Home show right before Saturday night's main event for the SmackDown recap at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday, it is it, guys. Everybody's going to be super emotional as John Cena's last match, his retirement match on Saturday night's main event as he goes one-on-one against somebody that's never been defeated in a non-title match. It is the Ring General Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I will be back Saturday night after Saturday night's main event concludes after the post show. I have it set for 11 p.m. Eastern Saturday night. I will be covering the entire event from start to finish. Hope to have a long stream while we talk about John Cena. So that is going to be what's in store for me this week. I appreciate you guys tonight for showing up for the NXT deadline recap. And I will see you guys Monday night at 11 p.m. for the Raw recap on the EVP show. I am the EVP CJP on the EVP show, and I am your motherfucking golden boy of DWE. And I'm just got one thing left to say. Deuces, oozes.